Hey team, Chris Simmons here with Riley Plant, our territory sales trainer. We're going to do a little demonstration video of how a DM1 should flow. To me, this is one of the most important meetings in the sales process. If we do a good job of setting up this DM2 with a great DM1, and sometimes that means asking some questions that may not be on this form, but how to dig a little bit. I'm going to be the agent, and Riley is going to be our decision maker for an HVAC company, and yeah, we'll get started. So, hey Riley, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. I'm glad we could get together today. As you can understand, we meet with a lot of different businesses, and they're all different. So, really, the agenda for today is I want to sit down, ask you a few questions about your business, how it's set up, maybe what's going well, what's not going well as far as your benefits are concerned.
Okay.
I'd like to take that information back to my team, put together something specifically for you and your needs,
Sure.
and then bring that and present that to you on a later date. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds fair.
Okay, awesome. Well, look, today seemed to be a good day. At 11 o'clock, what about, I can turn this around probably in 2 days. Does Wednesday work good for you at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's maybe.
Maybe.
Let me hear what you got.
Yeah, understandable.
When we get there.
So, like I said, we'll start off just a little bit, just asking you a few questions about your company. You're an HVAC company. Tell me a little bit about that. What's your history? How long have you been in business?
Sure. So it's a family company.
Awesome.
My dad started it about 40 years ago, and he recently retired. He's still involved a little bit.
Okay.
But I run the day to day, and I pretty much taken over.
So Hunter is your dad. Hunter's HVAC.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, that's cool. You get to continue the family business and hopefully keep growing it.
Absolutely.
So when we called and asked, you said you had about 22 employees. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, I think about, give or take.
Okay. Are all those full time?
They are.
Okay. Any part time guys?
We have a couple helpers. If we get a big job, we'll contract some people out.
Okay, so it's not somebody you offer any benefits
Right.
to. Perfect.
Right.
Okay. Have you experienced any growth over the last few years as far as employees are concerned, or are you looking to grow?
We're looking to grow. We're getting busier and busier.
Okay.
We started doing more commercial jobs.
Okay.
And those take a little bit longer, a little bit. We have our residential side going up, but I'd love to, get to a place where we can bring more folks on and take on more work.
That's awesome, man. I gotta ask this real quick. I know your dad started the company. Are you the one that makes the final decisions
Yes.
as far as how benefits are in place here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there nobody else involved, a payroll person or anybody like that?
So we have a payroll. We have a lady named Susie.
Susie.
She does all of our payroll. She's our office manager. She wears a lot of hats.
Yeah.
She pretty much just I tell her what to do, and she implements it. She's awesome. So.
Okay. Well, if we come back and present solutions to you, you think that she'd want to sit in on the meeting, or is that something you'd like to have her on?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, if she's available, I trust Susie, and she's always someone good to have around.
Okay. I find sometimes that our admin and our payroll people are the ones that are doing a lot of the work, so it might be good to let her hear what all this involves. How often do you guys pay your employees?
We're paid weekly, every Friday.
So 52 pay periods.
Yes, sir.
Are you guys currently using a payroll company?
We do payroll in house. Susie, we have QuickBooks, and that's what we use.
Susie does QuickBooks. Okay. We find that a lot, especially with smaller companies. They can't afford big platforms or anything like that to do their HR work.
Sure.
Having said that, let's talk a little bit about maybe HR and how you guys operate in that. So, what pain points are you seeing with that as you bring on new employees or having to terminate someone? How has that been handled?
Well, I know. I'm pretty sure. Susie. She's been here probably 10, 15 years, so she has her process in place.
Yeah.
I think they're mostly manual.
Manual.
I think she's taking people's social security card and license. I think we got photocopies of them and filing cabinets and things like that.
So lots to keep up with.
Yeah, probably for her. Yeah, absolutely.
So when it comes to onboarding a new employee, she handling all that as well?
They sit down with her. She gets all their I-9 filled out, all the things, scans their stuff, gets them, the employee handbook, that we have, and sends them on their way and starts training.
A lot of work. Well,
yes.
let me ask you this, Riley. If we could find a way to maybe make make her life easier with some software at no cost to the company that would help with that onboarding, with storing your employee information, things like that, and maybe have some other features as well. Is that something you might be interested in hearing about?
Absolutely, I'm sure. I'm sure Susie more than me, but anything to streamline and help her out. I'm all
Perfect.
for.
Well, hopefully she can join us whenever we come back. Tell me a little bit about a typical day in the company. What does that look like? Are your employees, I know you guys have a lot of guys in the field, or are they coming in and getting their equipment and leaving? Are they here all day? What does that look like?
Yeah, the guys, they show up, and probably about anywhere between 6 and 6:30. They get in their trucks, get their supplies for the day, and hit their route and head out.
Okay.
And that's about what it is.
Do you have any that are always in the office?
We do. We have about I think we have five folks here in the office.
Okay.
Doing dispatching and taking calls and setting up jobs and things like that.
So what about like demographics, male, female, age ranges?
Sure. Out in the field, the techs, mostly male. I would say their age, between 20 years old and I think in late 50s, early 60s. So
okay. So pretty good range there. Got some senior guys.
Yeah, and mostly, obviously a lot of them have families and they're head of households and things like that.
All right.
The ladies, the folks in the office, mostly are females.
Okay.
They run the show there. The guys listen to them, but and they're an age, they're anywhere between the ages of probably 30 to 40, mid 40s.
Okay. I wrote down here they run the show.
They do.
That's how that usually works,
right? It's important to know.
That's right. So I want to change gears just a little bit and talk about benefits that you may or may not have in place and kind of what that looks like and how it's working for you. Are you currently offering any core benefits? What I mean by that is like major health insurance.
Yeah. We have major medical. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yes.
Okay.
Been with them a long time.
All right. So but before I get into that, are you working with a broker on that?
Yeah, we have a broker. They've been the same broker for years. I think when my dad set it up, they've changed hands. We don't have a lot of involvement with them, honestly. They send an email, at renewal and tell us call them if we need anything. But not a bad relationship, but it's they just are what they are.
Still falls on Susie.
That's who we had to go through to get the plan, I guess. So that's how it works. So that's what we did.
So tell me a little bit about that plan. Are you paying for, how much are you paying for your employees on that?
So we used to pay 100% for the employee only, but prices have every year we get hit with a 10 to 20% increase, and so we're only able now to do 75% for the employees.
Okay.
And just we can only do it for them only. If they want to add their families,
It's on them.
we payroll deduct the difference.
So has it always been that way? Have y'all used to pay more?
Yeah, we used to pay 100% for the employee and 50% for the family, but it's just out of control with the prices and the increases and all that.
Well, given the way the increases have been, what kind of deductibles are you seeing on that, or have you had to raise those?
Absolutely. So right now we're at a $5,000 deductible.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so
that's for the individual?
Yes, that's for the individual.
Okay.
So, double that.
Unfortunately, we're seeing that a lot in the marketplace. The cost of health insurance has constantly gotten higher and higher. Let me ask you, given the history of the increases, do you anticipate being able to keep it at what it's at right now?
We've had the last couple of years, we had to go from a $3,500 to a $5,000 just to keep affording our part of the plan.
How do your employees take that when that happens?
Nobody likes to hear that, their deductible is going up. But we have a pretty close, I'm pretty open and honest with them. And, we feel like 75% is good, and we just do what we can.
Let me ask you this: if I could show you a way that we could help mitigate some of those out-of-pocket expenses for your employees, maybe put some money back in their pocket to help protect some of those out-of-pocket expenses and gaps that their health insurance is not covering, you think that'd be something they'd be interested in hearing about?
Absolutely.
Okay. What about other types of like voluntary benefits, such as like vision, dental, and life insurance?
Sure.
Do you have anything like that in place?
Yeah, I think we have it all through Blue Cross. I don't know I don't know exactly the carrier, but the vision and dental, I know we've got it through Blue Cross.
Is that part of the health plan?
Yeah, it's like the plan they offer alongside the health plan, and then we do pay for a small life policy on everybody. We
Okay.
pay for I think it's $20,000, and that's and that's on every employee as long as they're employed here.
Okay. Can they take that with them, or does that go away?
It goes away if
Okay.
they leave. Yeah.
What about things like long-term, short-term disability, accident, cancer, things like that?
Is that kind of like that Aflac stuff, like what? people
Yeah,
offer,
it's
like
similar.
something
We offer a lot of similar things. We go about it in a different way.
Sure.
But yeah, some of those products are designed to help with some of those out-of-pocket.
Yeah, we tried. We got people beating down our door all the time, sales guys, and we've tried Aflac in the past.
Okay.
There just wasn't a lot of interest. I don't know if that was due to the person that was here or the guys or what, but there wasn't a whole lot of people interested. I think a couple policies got written, and then those guys are no longer here, and so we don't have anything else in place.
So tell me, did they come in and like educate your employees on that, or they just come in and say, here's what we have?
I think they came in and they said, hey, we can offer no cost benefits to you at no cost,
Yeah.
and let me talk to the employees and sign them up if they're interested. And I was like, sure.
Okay.
And that was pretty much
it.
the extent of it.
Well, sometimes what I find is a lack of education for these type of products. How do you feel if we were to come in and really educate your employees on what their options are, and not only what they currently have, but how to use that?
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes people leave money on the table. There's claims they could have filed that they didn't know, but oftentimes it's due to lack of education.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like your employees would appreciate some education on that?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of them, insurance is like a foreign language, so
Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. Okay, so just to be clear, you don't currently have any Aflac in place, right?
No.
So there's, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Just the dental, vision, and life, and the medical.
okay. What about 401k, paid sick leave, and vacation? Are you offering anything there?
We don't have any 401k.
Okay.
We haven't crossed that bridge, and we try to get some. We try to give everybody a little vacation sick pay. It's not much. I think everybody gets about 2 weeks. That's about all we can do.
Okay. So, given the business that you're in, are you experiencing a lot of like workers' compensation claims, or time off of work due to injury or sickness or things like that?
Yeah, stuff happens. These guys are, they're guys, and they're out driving around and doing whatever on their weekends, and some of them are young or whatever. But so we have had, things happen to folks that put them out of work, and that was, since we're trying to keep people around and be a family, that I've helped some people out in the past through those times. But as far as workers' comp claims, we do have it, and it happens. But that's just part of doing business. It's in this industry.
So, how do you handle it if someone gets injured or sick and they're out longer than their 2 weeks? Are you foot the bill for that, or
I've had people. I've advanced some paychecks, and I've helped some
feel
people
like a
out
loan officer a little bit?
But that's just what I feel like is the right thing to do.
Okay. Well, man, if I can show you a way we can take you out of the loan business, and really protect these employees past that 2 week time period, because they want to use that for vacation as well too, right?
Absolutely.
You think that'd be something you want to hear about as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you feel like your employees really understand and appreciate the benefits that you are currently offering?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not, just because the plan hasn't changed much, just other than the
price.
deductible and the price.
Yeah.
So it's pretty standard, but and then Susie handles all that. At the open enrollment, she handles a lot of that, and but yeah, I don't think a lot of these guys probably understand. We got a lot of guys that don't take out the insurance just because they're their portion of it. They don't feel like they need it, or maybe they don't want to spend the money, you know, for their portion of it. So some people not covered.
Just a couple more questions, and I'll be out of your hair. Like I said, I'll get together and put some stuff together for you. But if there was one benefit you could add, regardless of time, cost, any of that, wave a magic wand and put that in place, what do you think that would be?
You know, I think some more life insurance for the guys. Like, they got 20,000, but what's that going to do nowadays? You know,
Sure.
I think it's important to have life insurance, especially for these guys that have families. So that's probably one.
Okay. Well, I definitely can put together some options for you on that, and like I said, we can get really customizable with it too. So I'll be sure to have that ready for you. What is one thing you would not change?
I mean, I would just not, you know, do away with my health insurance. That's important. You know, that's really the only way we can get people to even do an interview. If we don't have that, it's hard to keep good.
And by the way, you know, for a small company, you're actually doing a good bit for your employees. So I definitely commend that. I can tell you care about them.
Sure.
But that kind of leads me into my next question is, like, what do you feel like sets your business apart from another HVAC company down the road?
I feel like, you know, we pay very well. I pay a little bit higher than my competitors do, and it's just a family atmosphere. We feel like we care about the guys, and I think they feel that too. And so, you know, we don't have a huge problem with turnover. There's guys that come and go, but most people stay around. I think, you know, they appreciate this place.
That's good. I mean, if they're sticking around, that says something, you know. So. As far as I do want to ask you about, you know, when your enrollment goes down for your health insurance.
Sure.
Susie, like you said, she's getting the email. I just want to make sure it's clear.
Yeah.
Susie gets the email. She just assures everybody and tells them to make their elections.
Yeah, she gets the email. She comes to me. She says, "Hey, if our plan went up this much, we can pick new plans if we want." And I usually don't want any disruption. So I'm like, whatever we got to do to keep it the same, let's do it. And then, you know, I think she does paper out. But I think, you know, Blue Cross has the applications, and if anybody wants to make changes, you know, she tracks them down and does that. And if anybody wants to enroll at that time or add their family, I think she does that. And she's got a big stack of papers, I think, and she sends them off to the broker or Blue Cross, and they process it. And you know, that's I think that's pretty much the extent of it.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can kind of streamline some of that for Susie, digitize it for one, but, you know, make that, you know, if we're adding additional benefits plus your health insurance all at the same time, it's all digital. It keeps track of everything on the system, and it doesn't cost your company anything additional. I mean, that'd be of interest to you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Riley, I definitely think we have some stuff to take back here.
Okay.
You know, I'll go back now. I want to make sure we're really kind of addressing the high deductibles you talked about, maybe making Susie's life a little bit easier. And then I'll come back. You think that Wednesday time that we talked about will work for you?
Yeah, I think so. That'd be good. I'll be here.
Perfect. Well, and like I said, feel free to invite Susie to that meeting, because if she has questions, I'd love to answer those. But we'll really talk about what we can do to help with some of this stuff.
Okay.
And then we'll see you then, man.
Awesome. Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.